We went to Sampson, New York, and we were up there for about 12 weeks at the United States Naval training station at Sampson. After we left Sampson, we went to Newport, Rhode Island, where I got my training ship. We were down there 11 more weeks. And when we left Sampson, we went to Philadelphia to pick up my ship, which was the USS Fargo. Here's the name of it right here. And after we left Philadelphia, we went out to sea. We took our ship down for a shakedown cruise. We went down to Newport, Virginia, then we went down to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and then we went to San Juan, Puerto Rico on a shakedown. After the shakedown cruise, we had to come back to port because our ship was in shambles. We went through hell, put it down through the shakedown cruise. We went back to Philadelphia. We put it in dry dock so the guys could repair it. We were in dry dock about 3 or 4 weeks, then we went back out to sea. We went around different ports of the country, so on and so forth. And on this ship I got a certificate here, which means I'm a plank owner. See what I mean? Mm-hmm. And these are the pictures when you're in the service. The dark uniforms you wear is when you're in cold country. Then when you get in warm country, like in the South Pacific, you wear the white uniform. You understand that? Yes, sir. This is the picture of my ship. I'm very proud to be on this ship because it was a light cruiser, and we had a good time on it, and really paid attention to everything we did. This is a Sampson W-2 Navy veterans. This came from Sampson, New York, because I was in their outfit for a good 10, 15 years, then I got out, so on and so forth. So after we left Philadelphia, we went back out to sea and we went to different ports. Now, what I did aboard ship, I was a deck ape. You know what a deck ape means, don't you? It's a guy that works on the deck, seaman. Swab the deck and so on and so forth. Do whatever they tell you to do. Polish the brass, fire the guns, clean the guns, 50 calibers, 20 millimeters, 40 millimeters, 6-inch 38s we had, all kinds of target practice we did. We were shooting at planes with a sleeve on them, practicing. 50 calibers, they had tracers on them, so on and so forth. And 20 millimeters, same thing. One of the guys was the gunner's mate. He led the plane too far in front. Instead of hitting the sleeve, he hit the back end of the plane and down it went in the water. So we had to go and revive it. We went out, put a hook on it, brought it back on the ship. Of course, they had to repair it. But after that, we got back on the ship and they still had target practice with different things. Then we had an old ship they brought out to sea that they wanted to get rid of. This thing was an old relic, but we were a good mile away from it. We were firing these 6-inch 38s at it. And every time that thing would hit it, my God, you think it'd blow up the sky, but you couldn't sink it. There, we must have fired 50 rounds at that ship, and finally it did go down after a while. So that's the name of that game. So far, so good. So we went to different ports, and we saw different people, and you know how that is in different countries. Went to Japan, we had a little session down there, and we were anchored right next to the USS Missouri when they signed the peace treaty with Japan. Our ship was a flagship anyway, so we were in the Atlantic Fleet. But we had a good time over there too in Japan. Japan was fabulous. I liked it there. I had a Japanese girl, she wanted to come back with me, but couldn't get her aboard ship. You know how that goes. So we had to leave her there, and she got a little upset, but the SPs wouldn't let her board ship. And these medals I got, one of them is a good conduct medal, World War II, very good. And this is the American Theater, which we got, most guys got this anyway during the war. So that's the event of my story.
What was the basic, what was the thing that prompted you into going into service?
I wanted to go into the Navy for the simple reason I was 18 years old, and I was going to be drafted into the Army. Bueller from Johnstown was going to draft us. And I says, I'm not going in the Army. He says, well, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going in the Navy.
Mhm.
So I signed up for the Navy.
Now, for the record, could you state your name and address?
Yes. My name is Sam Caporossi. 126 West Fulton Street, Gloversville, New York, 12078. You want my phone number too, sir?
No, that would be all right.
Yes, sir.
So basically, the assignment of the ship was to patrol
Patrol, yes, patrol the coast on both sides, Atlantic,
both.
Atlantic and Pacific. But we were out to sea most of the time. In fact, one stretch there, we were out 9 months.
Did you have to run into any skirmishes at all?
Very few, very few. We had Jap subs around us, but none of them attacked us, but we thought they were gonna, but they didn't.
Did you have to chase them down?
No, one night I was on watch on the bridge with the captain. It was at night, it was from 8 to 12. And he says to me, here's the glasses, so keep an eye out. Of course, you had all lights out aboard ship anyway. So I'm looking around here and there, and all of a sudden I see a thing out there looked like a submarine. So I says to the captain, I said, I see a sub out there, sir. He says, ring general quarters. So I pushed a button, everybody goes to their general quarters, you know. Come to find out, it wasn't a sub at all, it was a whale. So he says, well, at least you were sure about what it was. I wasn't sure, that's why I sent general quarters. So we had a good captain, he was a good man, but you didn't want to cross him. Because if you crossed him, you'd still been in the Navy, probably in the brig.
How about your picture?
Oh, you want to see this picture? This is the picture when I was in boot camp. Company 308. I forgot the name of our petty officer there, but he was a nice guy. I don't know if his name's in there or not. Company 308, Sampson, New York. He was a good guy. Whatever we did, he'd do with us. We go around the track once, he'd go once. We go twice, he'd go twice. With packs or without packs, he'd go right around the track with us all the time.
What was your basic training like?
Basic training was rough. I was a fire watch most of the time. At night, they put me on fire watch because we were up there in the fall or the winter time. And I had to go to these boilers to keep them going. You know, I had barracks up there. Everybody was assigned to a different barrack. Then we had a big mess hall where we ate chow and where we met our people when they came up on weekends or whenever they could get around. But outside of that, it was nice though. I was supposed to be up there 12 weeks. I ended up being up there 16 weeks. So instead of shipping us out of there, I was supposed to go to Shoemaker, California. They shipped me down to Newport, Rhode Island. That's where I got the training ship. We had an old destroyer down there. They started us off on that. Then they put us on a battle wagon, which was all shot to hell, and we went on that. Then from there we went to Philadelphia to get our cruiser, light cruiser, brand new ship. But we took it down on a shakedown cruise, and man, that thing could move 22 knots an hour. And it was a good ship. I miss a lot of guys on it, but I'll probably never see them again. Who knows? You never know. I saw a couple guys on it from Syracuse, one guy from Utica, but the rest of them, they're all over the country, spread out. Maybe half of them aren't even around anymore. I really don't know.
Now, do they ever have reunions?
We had one reunion that was about 10 years ago, and I couldn't make it. It was in West Virginia. The guy that lives down there was in our outfit. He had it at his place. His name was John Campbell. He wanted us to go down there and have a reunion, but I couldn't make it at the time. I wished I could have, but I didn't.
I think that's pretty good.
Anything else you would care to hear?
Well, we can't hear about all your conquers.